Hello and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. My name is Eric May, and on behalf of OTC Markets, we are very pleased you have joined us for our next live presentation from Stallion Discoveries Corp. Please note, you can submit questions in the box to the left of the slides. You can also view the company's availability for one-on-one meetings through the Schedule Meetings tab found on the conference platform. At this point, I am very pleased to welcome Drew Zimmerman, Chief Executive Officer of Stallion Discoveries, which trades on the OTCQB venture market under the symbol STLNF, and also on the TSXV under the symbol STUD. Welcome, Drew.
Thank you, and thank you everybody for being here for our presentation today. My name is Drew Zimmerman, as mentioned, and I will be presenting Stallion Discoveries, Fueling the Future with Uranium. We are a uranium exploration company focused in the Athabasca Basin, but let's just get into the presentation. Always with the presentations, we have our disclaimer slide available on our website for you to read through. But as I mentioned off the top, we are a uranium exploration company based in the Athabasca Basin, where we believe the best uranium deposits are found and yet to be found. The grades that we see in the Athabasca Basin are 10 to 100 times what they are anywhere else in the world. You have some significant deposits already being mined by Cameco, Cigar Lake producing at an average grade of 17% uranium, where Kazakh uranium is less than 0.5%. So again, that is a world of difference in uranium grades that we're able to find in the Athabasca Basin. And also when we find these deposits, they tend to be quite large. So for a junior explorer looking in the Athabasca Basin, the economics and the potential of making a discovery and finding a deposit, it can be an incredibly exciting time. It can do a lot for the shareholders and the shareholder value that can be created with only a single discovery hole, because again, a single hole can turn you on to a deposit, and these deposits tend to be incredibly large and incredibly high grade. And that's what makes the Athabasca Basin, we think, one of the best places in the world to be looking, just based on geology alone. And nowadays, when you add in the geopolitical risk that we're seeing, the recent unrest in Niger, the fact that a lot of Kazakh uranium flows through Russia, we're looking to areas of the world that can produce and supply uranium that are friendly to sort of the Western nations. And the Athabasca Basin has that in spades. So not only is the geological setting absolutely the best in the world when it comes to looking for uranium, where it is geopolitically is second to none as well. Obviously, northern Saskatchewan, center of Canada, a very mining friendly area to be in. And again, being able to make these discoveries there does a lot for the Western world's supply of uranium. The Stallion team has had a tremendous amount of success in the Athabasca Basin. Three of our largest shareholders, they own just under 30% of the company, are the team that put together and ran Hathor exploration. Hathor found the Rough Rider deposit and got in a bidding war between Cameco and Rio Tinto, and eventually sold to Rio for $650 million in 2012, one of the bigger Canadian mining transactions at that time. The first CEO, Stephen Stanley of Hathor, who made the Rough Rider discovery, is on our board of advisors. The same group has also gone on and they put in some of the foundational assets that became NextGen Energy, significant shareholders of NextGen still to this day. So again, this group of individuals has had a lot of success in the basin. They know what these land packages look like and what the potential can hold for them. And for me as a CEO, with them being such a big block of our shareholders, wanting us to create this value over the next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and having that vision to say we want Stallion to be the next Hathor exploration, just gives us and this management team a ton of runway to be able to create a lot of value over that sort of time period. And again, with the knowledge and the expertise and the people that they know throughout the Athabasca Basin, having that team that has had success not once but twice in the basin goes a long way to be big backers of Stallion. And again, looking for that next big win and significant exit on being able to find the next significant deposit in the Athabasca Basin is what's at the base of our strategy and drives everything that we do as we go forward. To that end, through the beginning of this year, we've been able to put together an incredible land package. We did this through 3 transactions. We did 2 transactions in January at the beginning of this year to pick up over 78,000 hectares of 100% owned ground. And then most recently, a joint venture agreement with ATHA Energy to put our entire land package at almost 750,000 acres, or over 3,000 square kilometers. And I use this map, one, it shows most of the basin, but it also shows how busy the basin is and how competitive the basin is. And it's a testament to our team that we've been able to come in and structure deals and execute deals effectively and cost efficiently to be able to put together 3,000 square kilometers in a very competitive part of the world, because this is the best real estate for uranium exploration and uranium mining. So again, a testament to our team. The other side of it is we can really focus in on the western side. Well, we do have some key projects that are in the heart of the Eastern Basin. A big part of our land package is on the western side, and that's where we're really focused at Stallion. So we think the Western Athabasca provides a ton of potential. One, because it's just underexplored compared to the East. You've had multiple decades of significant infrastructure being built out on the eastern side. But in the West, we just haven't really seen that. And the last time, exploration was really successful here was with the Triple R discovery that led to the Arrow discovery and also the Spitfire deposit. But that was back in 2012, and it wasn't a good backdrop for continued exploration to really be taking off, because uranium prices and the uranium market was going the wrong way. Now, these companies were still able to move forward because they were such robust and great projects. And now we're, a decade later, the backdrop is better. We've had new exploration success in the West with the ultra high grade deposit found by F3 uranium. We also have a lot more dollars coming into this area as both Fission and NextGen move towards development. So in the West, it has been underdeveloped, but that is starting to happen. We're getting that new exploration potential on the back of F3 and their recent high-grade discovery. And the backdrop is absolutely incredible on the uranium space right now. So the ability to warrant and say to the market that we need to go out and explore this underexplored area is definitely top of mind right now. And we think that's what provides us a significant amount of potential as we go forward. Is on the eastern side, there's thousands of drill holes. On this entire project, we've located 3 historic drill holes that we don't have any data for. It just hasn't been explored. We know the uranium is there. There's uranium sort of high-grade hits all throughout this area. It just hasn't been explored efficiently and effectively, and that's what we're here to do with Stallion. So one of our key projects, as I noted off the top, we have our 100% owned ground and then the more recent ATHA joint venture ground. So the good thing with our exploration plan and strategy is we sort of have a 1-2 stair step, where we're able to be more advanced with our 100% owned ground because we've flown a regional survey over that ground earlier this year. We've been interpreting all the data over the last several months. And now we're advancing that to on-the-ground surveys and into drilling in the beginning of next year. Well, at the same time, we'll have bigger regional surveys on our joint venture ground being able to move forward. So on our 100% owned ground, where we've completed our regional surveys, one of our favorites is the Coffer project. As you can see here, sort of runs up along the western side of the Clearwater domain, a very big geological feature on the southwest side of the basin. It's right next to Shea Creek at its north. We're about 3 kilometers from our project, and extends all the way down along the edge of F3 Uranium's PLN project and stops just north of where you have NextGen's Arrow discovery. So with our work that we've done, we've come up with several key target areas that we really like on this Coffer project. This was working with Condor Consulting to interpret the results of this survey. They've been working in the Athabasca Basin for decades and really respect their work and their understanding of the geophysical results that we're able to get. So from here, we were able to get a 3-kilometer long conductor on our Appaloosa target, also along some of the magnetic lows, the blue area that you can see there. is a key area for us that we want to go in and focus on with an on-the-ground survey. So again, this has been a regional survey done by a helicopter. We want to increase the resolution of this survey to be able to best target our drills as we go into drilling at the beginning of next year. And it's the same with the Clydesdale target a little further to the south. And then a little different style is the Mustang target a little further south on the property. We think shares some more similarities to the geology that we're seeing with the F3 JR zone, discovery zone. We're a little bit more proximal to the Clearwater domain, still a magnetic low, but a conductor sort of running into that BD fault zone as well. So you're getting some other alteration and faulting. So we think that's an incredibly enticing area to be looking at as well. But it's going to be some on-the-ground surveys near term, again, into the fall, to increase the resolution of these target areas to be able to drill them as we go into the beginning of next year. And our further south project, we have our Gunter Lake project. Again, regional survey has been flown on this. It's 100% owned ground. So again, being able to take that regional survey, the big survey, zone in on our specific areas that we really like, as we continue to take in that data, being pragmatic with where the best places can be, we've been able to highlight another key target area, our Coyote target zone. We like this one. It's a 5-kilometer strike length of conductor, again, magnetic lows. It does extend further out to the east. The good thing for us is that is our ATHA joint venture ground that you're seeing that's shaded out on that side. So again, further warranting the work that we're going to be doing on the ATHA joint venture ground. But again, another target area that we want to get in and get on the ground, do a higher resolution on the ground survey to make sure that when we go into drilling, these drill bits are focused the absolute best that they can. And this is an overview of the area, again, just as I was alluding to earlier with the conglomeration of both our 100% owned and the ATHA joint venture ground. So this has given us the single largest exploration land package in the Southwest Basin. And as you can see, it sort of steps into the basin from the edge, and we think is the new frontier of exploration in the West, not shying away from going into the basin a little bit, because we think that gives us the potential to look at all 3 uranium deposit model types. So the perched uranium up in the sandstone, the unconformity uranium deposits, and then also the basement hosted that you're not getting unless you're into that sandstone. So with these conductive trends, you can see if you look closely at this area, the corridors that they are, it looks like they stop at our property, but as we know with geology, it never stops at the borders that we've created. It's just the surveys haven't been done past that. So we're doing a regional survey this fall. We'll be doing several different types of surveys that work best for the depth of sandstone that they're in. But it will be taking this package that is largely unexplored, definitely underexplored, and being able to prove that these corridors sort of go across these grounds. And again, casting that wide net early to say these are the best areas after we've done the regional survey, and go in and sort of have all these focused target areas. But again, getting the absolute best target areas from over 3,000 square kilometers of ground, starting with these large, efficient, effective regional surveys, allows us that we think to have the best potential targets at finding the next big discovery. Because again, at Stallion, that's what we're really looking for. We're looking for that next Cigar Lake, that next McArthur River, that next Arrow. We're looking for a big, meaningful, significant deposit. And we think the best way to do that is be looking where nobody has really looked before. We know there's uranium in this jurisdiction. We know there's uranium right along the edges of these projects. And we just want to take that next step and methodically and efficiently and effectively do the surveys that are needed to be able to put that together. Now, I did just have a question come in. I'll answer it as I go. So if you do have questions as we go through, please put them up and I can answer them when it relates most to the slides. So the question is, how did you assemble your land package in the Athabasca Basin? So right off the start, we did 200% owned acquisitions, January 6th and January 12th of this year. That gave us about 78,000 hectares. One, we got bought out of another public company. The other was out of a private company that we came in contact with as we were doing our due diligence on the public company. So we were able to get those outright at a very good price. We started doing the due diligence on those at the end of last year, so a year or so now. Again, I like to highlight that if we were going to go and try and put this land package together today, it wouldn't be possible with the renewed vigor that we've seen in the uranium market over the last couple of months. It was building the pieces when uranium had sort of moved to the back burner after that run up from Sprott Physical Uranium Trust and the uranium spot price. And then things settled down and now they're starting to take off again. But taking that opportunity to put the blocks in place to really take advantage of this next move is what we've done. It's been over a year of us building these projects together and been able to do that sort of quite effectively and a cost-effective basis. The last piece of the puzzle was one that just closed fully more recently was our ATHA joint venture. We were able to put that together because of some of the key shareholders that we had that were able to make the early introductions so that when we went forward with that joint venture, we could have that big single continuous land package that we were going after. We thought that added efficiency to our exploration strategy and plan. So again, very happy to have been able to do it. And I think it would be incredibly difficult to do again these days, given how competitive the Athabasca Basin is, given that it is the best place to be exploring for uranium anywhere in the world. So again, tying the overall strategy into the fact that we have this very large land package and being able to systematically take it through our discovery roadmap. Now, this also isn't a roadmap that we had to come up with or create. They've been exploring for uranium in the Athabasca Basin for over 60 years. And we're able to continue to learn from all the other work that's been done in the basin over the past several decades, analog, our work to other work that has led to discoveries or led to deposits. So we're not recreating the wheel in any way, shape, or form. It's a pretty, tried, tested, and true proven roadmap to get from, open ground to initial discoveries and then hopefully into a deposit. So we're really following that roadmap and walking this big land package just along this path. We use this slide really just to emphasize the potential of the Athabasca Basin. Obviously, some significant players there on a global scale like Cameco, some more local companies like NextGen, Denison, Fission that have been able to create a significant amount of shareholder value going right from initial discoveries all the way into development. And again, even at the lower end, we do say the recent discovery of F3 uranium, being able to take a junior explorer just like Stallion is now and have one discovery hole that hits ultra high grade, change that company forever. It went from a 25 million market cap to 150 million within 3 weeks. They've continued to have some drilling success and they'll look to move that from a discovery into a deposit as they continue to drill it out. But that for us is where our stakeholders can have significant leverage to this move in the uranium space. Not only do we have a very large land package in very prospective areas, but as we move forward, we have the potential with a single drill hole to really change the outlook of where Stallion is and where it's going. And that's all based on the economics of these uranium deposits in the Athabasca Basin being so strong, especially if you're able to hit a high grade area. They can be very large as far as pounds in the ground, but also incredibly high grade that make them incredibly valuable, even from a discovery hole, then again, significantly more value to take them all the way into a deposit. And then again, with the backing that we've had in our group, having success in selling out to a significant player that is, again, a great win for all shareholders, but also the potential development route that NextGen has gone down now. But with this uranium market continuing to heat up, we see the potential for further mergers and acquisitions or consolidations to be key. We think some of the mid-tier and larger developers and producers will also be looking for more pounds in the ground as they go forward. and potential pounds in the grounds, which again make our land package a pretty compelling place to be in the Athabasca Basin right now. So with that, the Athabasca Basin is definitely our key focus near term for the Stallion Discoveries team. It's where we put all of our time, energy, and effort near term. We think the market dictates that. However, Stallion did start with 2 gold assets, and we still hold those gold assets that we think provide a lot of optionality for the company. We have 1 asset in central Idaho, right next to Perpetua Resources. And we have a strategy, because of both of these gold projects have such great neighbors that have such good catalysts coming near term, that we can kind of hold on to them without spending a lot of money, not a lot of capex on exploration here, but waiting to see what both neighbors do. So in central Idaho, Perpetua Resources will be getting a draft record of decision by the end of this year and a final record of decision by the beginning of next year, to go ahead and build one of the largest independent open pit gold mines in the United States. We think that's a tremendous lift in value for our project right next door. And again, something that we can kind of wait and let them go through that process, let them create that value for us, have that catalyst for this whole area, for the state of Idaho, to be honest, and really be able to reap the benefit for our shareholders on that project. Our second project is a very similar sort of narrative. We were able to pick this up before I-80 really started doing a lot of work. Since then, I-80 has been doing a lot of drilling. This Ruby Hill deposit has become one of their flagship assets. They continue to get just absolutely incredible drilling results from this, so much so that they acquired Paycore Minerals to their south for roughly 105 million Canadian this spring. Looking to continue to expand this district. There's a key geological feature between us that we think is a key mineralizing event. They just drilled into that at the beginning of August this year and had high-grade gold and silver in that drill result. So again, sort of our thesis that was a mineralizing event was starting to be proven out more and more. But again, that's drilling that's being done by I-80. We've done a regional survey that they did on their side, has now been completed on our side, and we'll be looking to interpret those results going forward. But the potential for I-80 to continue to expand this district, or the potential for us or other players to really hone in on the success that I-80 has been having, make this a pretty compelling play for the gold and high-grade zinc, lead, and silver play as well. So the optionality that we have with these companies, or with these properties, to not have to spend a lot of capex and allow both neighbors to continue to do a lot of work and create catalysts that give these projects a lift, give us the optionality to look at different ways of divesting, whether that's a spin out for existing shareholders or selling them off. Because again, we do want to be focusing our time, energy, and effort in the Athabasca Basin. That's where we think the market is dictating our time and our capital and our energy go. So that's where we will be focused. But these are 2 great gold assets that we think will provide a lot of value for our shareholders going forward. The key people on our team, we've got Bill Breen, been a geologist in Idaho and Nevada, knows everybody there, 45 years, just a tremendous guy to have on our team, a wealth of knowledge, absolutely instrumental with the gold properties that we have. And then earlier this summer, we picked up Darren Slagowski, 10 years of experience in the Athabasca Basin, 7 of which was with Pierpoint, working on their Spitfire deposit. So to have somebody on our team that is incredibly focused and has a lot of experience in the Western Athabasca was key for us, given that was our key focus area. Also on our board of advisors, as I mentioned off the top, Stephen Stanley, just a wealth of knowledge when it comes from taking a early stage exploration company into discovery, into building out a deposit, and then ultimately a significant exit to Rio Tinto. Our share structure, as it stands right now, we are 94 million shares out. Going forward, we're about a 20 million market cap right now. So the big thing for us is that we are just in the process of closing a financing. We had a $2 million launch flow-through financing that we just upsized last week to $3 million flow-through and hard dollars. that's going to fund our budget near term. We still had over 1.2 million in the bank going into that financing, so well funded into the fall to be able to have our follow-up on the ground surveys and then get into our regional surveys as we look to drill test those targets at the beginning of next year. So again, with our team, you're getting great exposure, the single largest land package in the Southwest Athabasca Basin, the world's best place to be looking for uranium. It's right along existing deposits and discoveries. We know there's a lot of uranium there. We just need to look. And again, we're looking where nobody else has looked before. So we like our odds, not having to sort of unearth something that was overlooked. It just hasn't been looked at effectively or efficiently yet to this point. So we're following that roadmap, moving it forward, looking forward to be able to continue to progress those exploration efforts as we go forward. And again, a team behind us that has a lot of success in the basin. They know what they're doing. We're leaning all in on this and want Stallion to be part of this next big uranium move that's able to provide significant resources and deposits for the uranium that we need in this market going forward. We know it's incredibly short supply and tight supply, especially from such a safe geopolitical region. So looking forward to being able to do that as we move forward. At this point, I'll take some more questions. We've got some coming up. One key question here, the key milestones over the next 12 months and the capital needs to support that. Great question. Again, as I said just earlier, we will be looking to have our on-the-ground geophysical surveys, increase the resolution of those drill target areas. So we already know the target areas, but again, increasing that certainty and aiming for our drilling there. So that will happen this fall. At the same time, we're going to be kicking off our regional surveys of that ATHA joint venture ground. Maybe I'll just go back to the map that shows those, just so that you guys can kind of keep an overview of everything. So this ATHA joint venture ground will be getting the regional surveys, sort of the first effective and efficient look at this whole coverage space to be able to find the exploration corridors that we'll be looking to follow up further from there. And again, so those are the geological or geophysical surveys, that take us into the beginning of the year, but it is our intent to be able to have some drills turning as we go into the mid to late parts of January to test those Appaloosa targets, and the Coyote target is what we have our drilling sort of plan set for right now. Another question is, what is the makeup of your shareholder base? So again, as I mentioned off the top, very fortunate to have a key shareholder base with 3 individuals close to 30% of the company that have the vision for Stallion to become the next half or the next gen. That really allows us to have a good base going forward from there. Outside of those key investors, we work with a few great brokers at a few different brokerage houses here in Vancouver. We have just started to introduce the Stallion name and story to more institutional funds. But at this point, I would say Stallion is 90 to 92% held by retail investors, including those key investors that I have. So again, it's very much a retail name with the institutional level funds just starting to take a look at it and taking some interest in and understanding what we've been able to put together. Because as we've built out this strategy, I think as the market starts to understand what we've been doing from the beginning of this year, they'll start to see the sense and the plan that we have and the vision that we have for Stallion as we start with this big land package and hone in on the best potential to have several key target zones that have the potential to be the next significant deposits in the area. So with that, thank you very much for giving me your time today, and please feel free